I'm Melissa Rendiro.
And I'm Drew Whitaker.
Drew, did you know that there are numerous veterans living here in Hood County?
I do. Do you remember the show on Granbury TV a few years back?
The one about the veterans? You know, I actually do remember that show. It was such a great show. You know, I think that we should replay it for the folks and take a look into our heroes past.
That's a great idea, Melissa.
This is a new project that we're starting, and we're working with the City of Granbury to make this a reality. On Channel 27, if you have cable, this is the way we can get information out about different things. But we're going to be talking about veterans and their lives and the history of those veterans. And if you are a U.S. veteran and you've not told your story, we want you to come to the museum and to do a production on your life and your times and the times in which you were in the military. Because I have a friend that was the director of the Vietnam Center at Lubbock, Texas, at Texas Tech University. He commented one time, he said, the way to know what the true history of a nation is to have the people who lived that time and that history to tell it. So what we're doing is we're trying to get the veterans to come in and to do a recording of their lives and what happened in that time that they were in the military. So if you're a veteran and you've not done that, we would encourage you to do this, because it's the way to preserve the history not only of your life but the history of our country, and we're very interested in that. Today we're going to take a different approach. With me is Burton Burks Jr., and he has been a Granbury Lions Club member since 1964. So we were just talking, and it's 48 years he's been in the Lions Club. This month sometime, hopefully we're going to be having a Lions Club pancake supper. And that is open to everyone. We want you to come and to have a good pancake supper with sausage and this kind of stuff. And this is the way the Lions Club has this is their fundraiser for the year, one of their fundraisers for the year. And so we want you to be aware of that and to take advantage of it. When we get the correct date on it, we'll let you know. Today we're going to tell you a little bit about, or Burton's going to tell you a little bit about this video that we're going to be seeing. And we recorded it here a while back. Burton, when he recorded this, he was not aware that he was to receive the Melvin Jones Award. That's for service above and beyond a lot of things. So we kind of tricked Burton into doing this. So we're going to be TVing that interview with you, for you to become aware of some of the things the Lions Club does. So Burton, do you have anything you would like to say about this?
Well, I was kind of surprised when I received this Melvin Jones Award. I had no idea that I would receive such an award, but I was proud of it. And a lot of things happened in the Lions Club that I'm proud of, and a number of projects that the Lions Club supports. The eyeglasses, the eye training dog, and numerous other things.
The camps down at Fredericksburg?
The what?
The camps?
Yes, the camp down at Kerrville.
Kerrville, not Fredericksburg, Kerrville. Yeah.
For handicapped youngsters, and that's a tremendous program that they have down there. And every year they have a work day down there, and Lions are able to go down there and help get the camp in order for the kids.
And they said this year they had more volunteers down there than they've ever had before.
Yes.
Which is a real good thing. So they take these young folks down there, if they have diabetes or whatever their problem is, they have a week for them, and it's no cost to them. The Lions just gets them down there, and so this is a big effort by a lot of people. So this is what the monies go that the Lions Club here in Granbury makes. They buy eyeglasses for school children that their parents can't afford it. So we like to support the Lions Club, and we look forward. So when we find out about the pancake supper, we'll be back with everyone. But today, what you'll be viewing will be the interview that we did with Burton, and about the Lions Club, about his 48 years as a member of the Granbury Lions Club. So with that, we're going to say thanks, and we want to thank the City of Granbury for working with us to get this on Channel 27, because the museum, the U.S. Veterans Museum, is a world of history about what some of our guys and gals did in all of the wars in the history of the United States of America, and it tells the story of what they gave. Some gave all of their lives, all that they had, which was their lives, and some just gave a lot. But once you defend your country, that means you're a part of it. So we're proud of this. We're proud of the Veterans Museum. We're proud that the City of Granbury is allowing us to put this on Channel 27. So with that, we're going to say see you on down the road, and we'll be talking to you. And so remind you that if you do not have a story about your service, we would encourage you to come and to do that. So with that, we'll see you later. Thanks a lot. Hi, my name is J.C. Campbell, and we're here today to do an interview about Lions Club. The Lions is going to be 50 years old this coming March. With me, next to me, is Burton Burks Jr., and we'll have a line James Royce. And we're going to be interviewing Lion Burton about some of the things that happened in his tenure here in Granbury. He's about 48 years into this 50 years that we've got, and so he's there's only 2 members that are still alive on our charter, and one's in Alaska, and the other one was just a short-time member as he was working for the railroad company, and he couldn't make all the meetings. And Glenn Hodges is his name. He still lives in Granbury, but we want to document the history of the Granbury Lions Club, and they were chartered on March the 6th, 1961. And so this is the reason we want to do this, because I've been told in the past that if you want to get history right, you need to talk to those who lived it to tell you what happened. And that's what we're trying to do. Burton has been in the Lions Club here in Granbury for a long, long time. And so we're going to be asking him some questions and getting his remembrances about what happened in the early days of Lions Club starting in 1961. Before we do, though, I want to give a special thanks. The Lions Club of Granbury would like to thank Tom Green and the U.S. Veterans Museum for videoing this interview, because it's, as I said a while ago, it's part of the history of Granbury, and that's what we're trying to preserve, is the history of Granbury. And the Lions Club is a very special part of that history, and you will learn more. If you're not familiar about the Lions Club in Granbury, you'll be learning a little bit more about that. So we want to go ahead and start. Behind me, you'll see the original charter, and it's got names of 27 guys. And as I said, there are a lot of them that are local businessmen that started this thing, and so there's only 2 that's still alive. Today, James Royce and I are interviewing Lion Burks about his time here in Granbury. Now, Lion Burks, if you would, when did you move to Granbury?
I moved to Granbury in 1955, January of 1955, after serving 4 years in the United States Air Force, honorably discharged in January of 55. We moved to Granbury to the farm.
Okay. Now, when did you become associated with the Lions Club?
I became a Lion in 1964. J.T. Manus was my sponsor, and he operated a locker plant in Granbury, and when my wife would go in there and put something in or take something out, J.T. would always jump her about me joining the Lions Club. So finally I did, and certainly don't regret that, but I do regret not being a charter member.
Yeah. Well, you were not here whenever it was formed, though.
Yes.
Were you? Oh, you were
Yeah.
here then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Well, for those of you that are not familiar with locker plants, a locker plant is before deep freezes. So if you had a freezer, that was very unusual in that time. But that's what we had. We had a place down right off where the right off of the square, the southeast corner of the square. That was
Behind the church.
yeah, it was behind where the Methodist church was. But it was, you could go down, you could have a pig or a cow or something killed, and they would store it there for you. So when you needed it, you went down, and so that's what you were talking about. So you did it in self-defense of yourself then. You joined the Lions Club to keep him off your case. Is that
That's right.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about your family.
Well, we had 2 children at the time.
But you and who?
Francis.
Okay.
My
Yeah.
wife, Francis.
Yeah. Okay.
And we had a daughter, Brenda, and a son, Jim. And they later, or Jim did, become a Lion. And we have a grandson who's just recently joined the Lions Club in Groesbeck.
Okay.
And so the Lions Club has been an important part of my life and the life of the family. We like I say, started in 1964 and have been a member. I missed the last couple of years because of health reasons, but nevertheless, it's been an important part of the life.
And you know, the motto of the Lions Club is "We serve," and certainly the Granbury chapter of the Lions Club has done a lot of service, and we'll get to more of that in a little bit. Tell a little bit now about Jim. Now he was my oldest son's sponsor, John Campbell's oldest. He was his sponsor whenever he joined the club, but John had to opt out after a few years because he was working a lot overseas and he couldn't make all of the meetings. And I think that Jim sponsored Sylvia whenever she joined the club. So Jim, you're the Burks family has had a lot to do with the perpetuation, if you would, of the Lions Club here in Granbury. Is there anything else now? Is your granddaughter, she hasn't joined yet, has she?
No.
Well, you need to work on her, right?
She is the director of the senior center, and
Yeah.
of course the Lions Club's been fortunate to have pancake supper at the center.
Yeah. We're going to talk more about pancake supper in just a minute, but tell us a little bit about who sponsored you. You were talking about that.
JT Manus,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
Well, like I say, JT was a charter member, and he kept after me to become a member, and I finally consented, but that's how it happened.
Very good. Well, now you live north of town. What's that area called out there?
Well, it's been developed into a development, Abe's Landing. They're in the process of building several new homes out there. And of course, we farmed that property from 1955 until we sold the property in 2006. And the property had been in the family since the 1860s. And my great-grandfather, Abe Nutt, ran a ferry across the river at that time. And it was a way that they traveled from the north over to Thorpe Springs. And I think the story is that one time he was ferrying some cattle or something across, and they got a little rowdy, and they pushed him off in the river. And he took pneumonia as a result, and later, at the ripe old age of 41, he passed away.
At the ripe old age.
Yeah.
Well, I can understand that. There weren't too many bridges in in Hood County at that time.
No, that's correct.
So you got the ferry working to take care of that. And there wasn't any road from from the courthouse to La Pan either.
I don't know about that.
Well, not that we know of that had a bridge that you could cross.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
We, I know that the first bridge that was built across was in the early 1900s. And about 1909, they had a flood and it washed out. So they've had numerous bridges built out there at that same location, and they're using one that was built recently.
Yeah. Well, the swinging bridge at Tin Top up there, that was. When do you have any idea about that? I'm talking about bridges.
No, I have no knowledge of I just know I went over the time too. But
Did the timbers roll as you rolled over?
yeah, kind of did.
It did. It was
Kinda,
scary.
yeah, it was spooky.
It was scary. It was scary. Won't you tell us a little bit about? Well, that's James is going to be doing that. But is there anything else you want to say about Abe's Landing out there? That's like you said. It's been in your family since 1860 or somewhere like that.
Well, the rock that was the anchor was attached to was going to be covered up by the lake, and so we decided we needed to do something about that, and broke off a big piece of it and carried it up to our home, and it's there with that
Yeah.
peg in the rock.
Really?
That
Anchored the rope that
right.
went across the.
They went across the river to a cottonwood tree. They tied it to a cottonwood tree over there. But that's kind of what happened to the position of the rock and the landing. That we decided that that's what we wanted to call it, Abe's Landing.
Abe's Landing. That's a good way to have history preserved, is naming an area out there.
Well, it was really Abel Nutt. He was one of the four brothers of the Nutt family.
Well, I think that's a good thing. But you know, Jim was always very proud of, and he often spoke about Abe's Landing, and most of us had no idea what it was, and so I just now found out about the Abel Nutt.
Yeah.
You know, I guess I've known about Abel Nutt, but I never knew that was the reason that that area was named for that.
Yes.
But anyway, well, anything else?
I can't think of anything.
Okay, before we go any further, I just thought of something. Jim, before Jim passed away, he had this chuck wagon.
Yeah.
And he and his wife used to meet on the square, and they would have these. They would cook things down there on the square for different occasions. But I think he really loved to cook biscuits, and they'd have preserves or whatever to go with it. And it was something that he gave back to the community. And after he passed away, well, the Lions Club bought the chuck wagon and kept it for 3 or 4 years or so. And since then, my son and Pogie and Dan Ames have bought the chuck wagon, and they use it to continue the cooking. So in a way, Jim's still with us whenever we take the chuck wagon out, because we always talk about how Jim used that chuck wagon to help further it wasn't just the Lions Club, but it was the We Serve thing. It kind of perpetuated that idea, because Jim did that.
Well, Jim really was enthusiastic about the chuck wagon, and it was a shame that he, of course, is no longer with us.
Yep.
And he would have liked to have continued
Yep.
that, I'm sure.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I think I've come to the end of my part of this right now, but so I'm going to let Lion James take it, and he's got some questions that he's going to grill you on, if you don't mind.
Yes, Lion Burton, I know in the history of Lions Club, and I joined Lions Club in 1983 in Cedar Hill, Texas, and early years of our meetings, some strange things happened in our club. And can you remember some of the happenings in the first meetings of the club here in Granbury?
Yes, we met at one time at what was on Street was Mildred's. It was a restaurant there that had a meeting room behind, and the problems we had with our meetings sometimes were they got to throwing paper wads, and
This is grown men now.
yeah,
Okay.
and that kind of got out of hand, so they made them quit throwing paper wads. But I do remember one other instance where they were trying to create some interest, I suppose, in the Lions Club, and they cut somebody's tie off. But that was not a very good thing to do, because I think after that happened, we lost some members.
Or at least they didn't wear ties.
That's right.
Did the tail twister have a hard time keeping the members in line during that early years?
Well, yes, I would say that he did. I can't even remember who the tail twister was, but yeah, it was difficult because you know there was a lot of excitement about it, and we enjoyed meeting with the Lions.
Yeah. I remember I was first in Cedar Hill, and the tail twister was the police chief. And I was fined for some probably ridiculous reason that I didn't really do, you know, like we Lions are fined now. We don't say Lion Burton or Lion JC. And our tail twister really jumps us about that. And anyway, the tail twister came up behind me and put a headlock on me. And so I had to pay my fine. I believe it was 10 cents. But I paid it quickly, and I was careful what I said, you know. Some of my questions I've written down is, I know you held the office of president of Granbury Lions Club, and was that just one time? Or?
No, I was president 2 different times, 1977, 78, and 1988 and 89.
Okay. And did you hold other offices in the club?
Well, yes, I've been, I hadn't been a tail twister, thank goodness, but I've been director, yes.
Were you ever treasurer of the club? Or?
No, I don't recall that I was ever treasurer or secretary, no.
Okay. I'm going to come down now to some questions about our pancake grill. We have a diagram here of it and an article that was in the paper some years ago. We don't have a date on this article. But when did you first see the grill?
Well, actually, we were using grills, electric grills, and the first pancake supper that I can recall right after I joined was in the, well, what's the board meeting room now, over in the old section of the schools. And then we later moved to the new elementary school that was built, 2-story
On
elementary
Jones Street.
Jones Street, right. And we had to, in order to use the grills there, and we borrowed grills from Texas Electric in Weatherford, and they had to always call in an electrician to wire up the grills because they required more power than just ordinary plug-in. So after we did that, we found out that the Lido FFA had a grill that they used for pancake supper, and from that beginning, we had the idea that that's what we needed. So Bill Flint was a very fine machine man, and we asked Bill if he couldn't build us a pancake cooker similar to the one that was at Lido, but he went a little better than the one in Lido. It did not revolve, I don't think, the one there, but he built it where he used a bicycle sprocket and gears to cause the pancake cooker to turn. And you could, I think it took about a minute or so for the pancakes to come around. And after they were done, ready pick up. Well, of course, they put more batter on the grill, or on the part that we were using for cooking the pancakes. But no, it was something that Bill Flint did for us that we were really grateful for.
Do you remember what year it was that he built that?
Well, we've tried and tried and tried to come up with a year, and it's been difficult. I don't know why we didn't put down the year, but anyhow, I'm going to say sometime in the early 70s.
James, if I might interject something here, I was on the city council from 71 to 92, and we hired, Bill Flint was working at Lockheed, and we hired him to be the city manager here in Granbury. And it was after that, so I think it was about 73 or 74 that he did this work, and he did it in his shop.
Yeah.
He was a Volkswagen nut. I mean,
Yeah.
he loved Volkswagens, and he worked on them all the time. And he had a shop back over here where there's a baseball field now, and he built that thing then. But he was very ingenious about doing things and working with his hands. But I believe it was about 73, somewhere along in there,
Yeah.
that he did
Yeah.
that.
And it still works on the same sprocket and the same little motor, and
Yeah.
it still makes a turn in about a minute, because we've timed it.
Yeah.
And usually it takes 2 turns, and we turn them over, and 2 turns, and they're done.
Whenever, well, I don't know if it's taking 2 turns, but it's just, it goes around. If you get it really, really cooking, you can get them down pretty quick, and you can feed a lot of people.
Now, that depends on the heat. And-
That's right.
and a lot of times the
You
first
got more
one we
heat,
put
right.
on there, we didn't let it get hot enough, so
Yeah, yeah. Well, that's,
There was a gas heater under that cooker part, and you could adjust the heat
Yes.
by adjusting the amount of gas that went to the heater.
I think, aren't those water heater burners that's
Yes,
underneath it? And I
that's
think
right.
we've got 4 underneath.
Yeah, 3 or 4.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but that's where you get that's where it heats that, what is it, about a 3/8 inch aluminum plate or a half
Something
inch
like
aluminum
that,
plate?
you
yeah.
know, the diagram or the plan say it was a half inch,
inch, yeah.
and then it's 4 foot across,
Yeah,
so,
cook a lot of pancakes.
yeah. And I know he also, in the article that we have, it said that he sent plans to Canada, and he also made a cooker for a Byron, Georgia Lions Club. And then you were saying one went up to Wyoming?
Wyoming, I believe that's correct. Actually, the reason that all came about is because the Lions International magazine had a picture of the Lions Club and the pancake cooker, and when it went to all the clubs, then that created an interest in their obtaining one. So that's why the other cookers were made.
Yeah. Yeah, I know the Lions Club in Lubbock feed quite a few people every year. They have a record in the record book about that, but they don't use a round grill, they use some square grills.
Yeah.
You wonder why they don't get smart and build them a round grill. I know that right now the Godly Club is in process of building a grill, and they asked us for the plans, and we sent those to them so that they could also have a grill. How many people do you think that the Lions Club has fed pancakes to over the years?
Oh my goodness, it's several. Usually, we would feed in excess of 400 people at a pancake supper, and when you add that up over the times that we had the cooker, well, it amounts to a lot of people.
Because it's not just once a year. We cook for the senior citizens for their fundraiser now, and also for the Hood County Junior 4-H Club, the
Right.
Livestock Club, and we cook for the Relay for Life. And I remember last year when
Yeah.
we cooked for ourselves, we cooked, it was over 100 pounds of mix. And where did we get the mix from at the beginning?
Well, at the beginning, we got it from a milling company in Denton. I can't recall.
Morrison Mills.
One?
Morrison.
Morrison is correct. And we would go up and purchase whatever we needed. In fact, they made us a special deal on them the price, and so that helped a lot.
I know they are no longer there, but what I found out a couple of years ago when we could not get the mix from them anymore, that they sold to a company down in Durin, Texas now. So that's where the place is, and it's the Pioneer
I see.
mix. So it's supposed to be the same. Now your son, I was told, was the one who mixed the batter.
He helped too, yes. I think Walter Baldry helped, and I think Sylvia even got in on some of that. So there were several that were responsible for mixing the batter, yes.
You had to be trained to do that, though.
Yeah, oh yeah.
And when I first transferred to the club here in about 2003 and went to the first pancake supper, you guys wouldn't let me flip pancakes.
There's a pecking order there.
Yeah, and so I had to wait. But I was the official pancake cooker in Cedar Hill, and that didn't seem to impress you guys at all. But a lot of Lions clubs do that, and that's a good fundraiser, and that's been great for us. And this is going to be the 10th year for the Jim Burke Memorial Pancake Supper, coming up on March 19th, the same day as General Granberry Day. And that will be out at the Senior Center or at Reunion Grounds, whichever happens because of the water leak.
Water damage,
yeah. Also, the pancake cooker is used to cook pancakes for Relay for Life, and we've used that outside at the football field at the junior high school. And last year, a storm came in and it was canceled, but then they asked us to cook later, and we cooked out at the Union Grounds. And I don't know if you know this or not, but we cooked pink pancakes. So we're very accommodating to our clientele that we do that for. And I know we fed 60 people, and we used about 20 pounds of mix for that. And we Lions enjoy doing the pancake cooking. We have a lot of fun. When was the barn built?
In 2001.
It was when it was finished?
I think so, yeah.
Okay.
We may have started in right at the end of the 1999 or 2000, yeah.
And where was the pancake cooker stored before then?
Well, it was stored in several places.
Barns.
At Willie Macy's place. It was stored, I think, at Lefty Lancaster's service station that used to be across from Joe's restaurant now. There was a service station there, and we kept our flags and the cooker there. And then we kept the cooker and the flags out at our place in the barn out there. So it's traveled around quite a bit.
Yeah. And our barn now is really neat because we keep our flags for the flag route and our cooker and
Trailer.
trailer for the
Floats.
parade. And that we participate in all the parades in Hood County. And we had a trailer before the one we have now, and then after I came here, the club bought another trailer, and we began participating in the parades again in earnest. When did the Lions Club take over the flag route?
Well, I really can't put a date on it, but the JCs, when their organization demised or ceased to be, they offered the flag project to the Lions Club, and we thought that was a good deal, so we took them up on it.
Now, did the Lions Club pay the JCs anything for that?
To my knowledge, they didn't.
Because that's one of our major fundraisers now.
Exactly.
Do you remember how many flags they were putting out when you first took the routes?
No, it was probably less than 200.
Okay. And now we put out between 700 and 800 and have 10 routes.
Right.
So it's really grown, and that's good because we use the proceeds from that to for all of our projects here in Hood County and helping the young people with in the Hood County's public schools with eyeglasses. I think last year Lion Sylvia Campbell was telling me we spent a little over $6,000, and we pay for the exam and the glasses. We give scholarships to graduating seniors, and so we use the money just right here in Hood County. And I'll get into that a little bit more. Do you remember the cost of eyeglass program in the past and how many that we gave out before, say, 1990?
No, it wasn't near what we're doing now, but we had it in our budget to allocate so much money for that, and I wouldn't have any idea how many that we helped.
But now that was something the club did from the time you joined, is that right?
Oh yeah, well they didn't start it until years after I joined, but it was a project that was needed by the kiddos in school. The nurses in the schools screened the kids to see if they needed the glasses, and yeah, it was a good thing for us to do. Yeah.
And that's part of our international objective, is to help with sight, and the Lions Club was started about 1917, and then at one of our early meetings, Helen Keller spoke, and she challenged the Lions Club to become the Knights of the Blind, and we have been ever since. And I know in the Cedar Hill Club, and before I was in Lions, in other parts of Texas, that was one of the main objectives. When a child couldn't see or needed glasses, the Lions Club would help them some way get glasses, and they would help adults at times when they needed surgeries for cataract and for other surgeries. You could call them, and if they didn't have the money, they would do something to raise the money. I don't know if the Tail Twister did that, but the Lions have always been conscious about that. And worldwide, we've spent a lot of money to stop blindness in areas, the trachoma and the river blindness, and have just about wiped that out.
And the Granbury Lions Club has been very involved with the club in Mexico.
Yes.
Until they've had all of the bad stuff happening down there. So
Yeah, several years ago, I went with my church, and you remember this, and we helped over 480 people with glasses in one little small community, and we collect used eyeglasses, and we get turn in quite a few every year, and they're sent to Midland, Texas, and the people there of Lions, and some students, they read the prescriptions, and then they write it on bags and box them up in boxes of 50, and that's what we used in Mexico. And when we would examine the eyes, and Dr. Chris Cheney was there with us and know what it was, then we'd get one that would match as close as we could. And the amazing thing is, it was quite an experience for me, because when you put the eyeglasses on the people and they could see, a big smile comes on their face. And for some of them, that was the first time they could really see clearly. And it's just a matter of getting the glasses there. And now, in that same Lions Club, they have been funded from International with what we call a grinder and lenses for children. And they go into the villages and they examine the children's eyes, go back to their clinic in Chihuahua, and they make brand new pair of glasses for the kids and take them back out to them. So that's something that we help with even here from Granbury. Now, we give scholarships to graduating seniors in Hood County. We include all the schools, Granbury, LaPan, and Tolar. Do you remember some of the students that we've given scholarships to in the past?
Well, we've tried to instill in the students to correspond with us and tell us how they did, or you know, whether they graduated or not. But it's been a program that we're proud of, and no, I can't come up with any names specifically, but it's.
We ought to come up with one name. Your grandson.
Yeah, our grandson, he got a scholarship and went on to college college at Sherman, and then later went to Washington, D.C. and graduated from law school up there. Came back to Texas and passed his bar, and now he's in the district attorney's office in
Grossenbeck.
Groesbeck.
But he came to the club since I've been a member and thanked us.
Yes.
And that's something that doesn't happen very often, and I really appreciate it. And that's a fine young man to keep the Burke's tradition and Lionism going. And didn't you sign his membership application?
Probably did, but just recently he had joined the Lions Club at Groesbeck, yes.
Yeah. And that's okay. You can sign somebody's application that
Yes.
doesn't live here.
Yeah.
You know. What are some of the current programs that we do that you like best?
All the one I like best, of course, is the Pancake Supper project, and also the flag. Those two are important so far as monetary value to the club, so that we can fund some of these things that we're doing, like the eyeglasses and help for the needy. But yeah, it's something that we like to do.
In some of our projects now, Burton, and I know you know about these because I believe you were the one that made the motion to start the Perfect Attendance program, which I introduced to the club when I joined, and we gave the students who have, and still do, who have perfect attendance each 6 weeks, they got a special prize. And at first we had to give them something with nutritional value, so we gave them, milk chocolate, M&Ms, and Snickers bar with peanuts, because that has food nutrition, because the school system said we couldn't give them hard candy. But now we give them a coupon to go to CiCi's Pizza and get free pizza. And the 6 weeks that ended December the 17th, we gave out 1,764 perfect attendance coupons. And this 6 weeks that just ended last Friday, it's over 1,200. And we carry that beyond just the 6 weeks, because we give them a perfect attendance award at the end of the school year. If they've had perfect attendance all years, no tardies, we give them a gold dollar. And last year we gave out 165 gold dollars, and the year before it was 149. And the children could get a gold dollar from grandpa or grandma or mom or dad, but they want the one that comes from the Lions Club. And I know that many of them will keep that, and they're encouraged by that, and that program has really worked for us.
Well, I think the objective is to try to encourage the kids to go to school.
Yes.
And if they do have a perfect attendance, they're recognized.
Yeah. And the teachers like that, because they have students who are there every day, and they don't have to back up and repeat.
Yes.
And they all have been very appreciative of the Lions Club for that. One of the things we do too is we help Habitat for Humanity every year. I don't know exactly how long we've been doing that, but we're one of their called Century Club members, and I know that we're giving them about $500 a year when they start building homes here in Hood County, and they've built nearly 50 here just in Hood County. So that's one of the things some of our members take part in. Also, we do eye clinics for adults as well as children, but we do an eye clinic out at Rancho Brazos and have for the last several years, and help adults with eyeglasses. And then several years ago, we got this little guy, Leo, and he was rescued from a Salvation Army store, a Goodwill store, and he's been all over the world. He's been to Iraq, he went with me to Mexico, and he's been in most of our homes and gone on vacations with us, and just had a great time, went deep sea diving, and just been a lot of different places. And
Notice
he's
he's
still
got his,
surviving.
and notice he's got his camo breeches on,
Yeah,
and he's got, I guess that's from Iraq, but he's got his Lions Club vest on, and so he's been traveling.
yeah. And it always attracts children. And you know, he was kidnapped one time. And man, we had to pay a ransom and that was by selling a certain amount of pancake tickets so that we could rescue him. And we even got pictures, and he was blindfolded so that he wouldn't know where he was. So we've had a lot of fun with our little mascot Leo. We also have another mascot that we use, and that's Lion Simba. And Lion Simba goes to the schools and helps to present the Perfect Attendance Awards and the Gold Dollars, and also is in our parades. He participates in all the parades here in Granbury except the Veterans Day Parade, and we want to honor just the veterans that day and not distract from them. But Simba is very popular with the young people here in Hood County, and he's also participated in parades and other Lions clubs in our district, 2E2. It goes all the way up to Denison and down to Glen Rose, and been in Christmas parades in Cleburne and in Denison, and Harvest Parade up in Louisville. So he's very popular with our Lions, and we got Simba about 2005, just right after we got Leo, and he's been a big addition to our club.
He gets lots of invitations.
Yes, he does.
Well, he's dressed like a lion. His dress is.
His picture's in the paper this week,
Yeah.
and I don't know if you can get a shot of that, but that's Lion Simba at a school function giving out gold dollars at that particular function. And usually the kids in the grade school will come up and they'll want to hug Simba. In the parade here in Granbury, we have had students and kids bring lemonade, especially on the 4th of July, and give it for Simba. And let me tell you, that's really a great thing to have them talking about that and excited about that.
Well, that costume is, in the summertime, it's rather warm. It's not the best thing to try to do as far as staying cool. It's a hot job that they do.
Yes, sir, it is. And I guess the best time for Simba would be, for example, the General Granbury Day last year when it was so cold, and we probably had more people in the parade than watched the parade, but I think Simba was very happy. So, Lion Burton, I'm honored to know you, and I know that when you first came into Lionism, you had many Lions who had been Lions before who taught you much about Lionism, and that same thing has happened to me, and I've learned not only from you, but other Lions members in our club. We have members who've been in the club over 50 years, like yourself, and ones I knew in the Dallas area that they've been an influence on my life, and part of it that's influenced us most is the serve. We serve our communities, we serve one another, and no matter where we go in the world, if we go and we seek out a Lions Club, we're instant brother and bonding with them. And that's what happened to me when I went to Mexico. I'd never met the Lions from the club there, but when I got off the plane, 4 of them met me like they were my long-lost brothers, and that's just a really unique feeling you get in the camaraderie that we have as Lions.
That comes from helping.
Yes.
And so that's good. Well, James, before we wrap this up, would you talk a little bit about the ladies and the lady Lions that we have in our club? Not just our club, but what's available to ladies throughout anyone that has a Lions Club.
Well, when Lion Burton joined, and when I joined the Lions Club, I joined in 1983. We had the women that were our spouses and all. We had an auxiliary, and they were called the Lioness Club, which made perfect sense. And we still have a few of those in existence today. But in 1991, Lions International made it so that women too could come into Lionism, and that's really been a help. Some of the old guys didn't like it, so they're probably not around anymore. But they've really helped, and it helps bring a lot more beauty into club meetings than just us ugly old guys that are there.
There's been a lot of help.
Yes, they have. They work and they get things organized sometimes, but they have come and accepted our
Mode of
what you
operation.
yeah, you might call silliness, or some things that we do that they think are goofy. Because all of the Lions Club have done things, like you said, throwing paper wads. The Duncanville Noon Lions Club threw wet napkins. And they had to replace the carpet in the meeting place they were at. And then one of our recent Lions, he died last fall, Mac Warren, remembers him pouring a pitcher of iced tea over the guy that brought him to Lions Club one of the first times he went. And somebody was going to pay, I don't know, $10 for it. He said, oh, you're going to have to get more than that. And they got $200 or more that day, and he had to pour that tea over.
Cost them more than that for the replace the carpet.
Well, he wouldn't let them do it if they were just going to pay $10. He wanted them to get more money. So we do some things like that, but it's all in a spirit of fun. And if somebody says, wait a minute, I don't want to do that, we don't bug them.
Well, all of the fines that you get goes to help someone, and so that's
Yes.
that's what it's about. So.
And next Tuesday night, we're not meeting next Tuesday during the day, but next Tuesday night we're meeting at the conference center, and it's the 50th birthday party for the Granbury Lions Club. And our charter was signed on March the 6th, and we tried to get as close to that date as we could, which March the 6th on Sunday. And so from 1961 to 2011, the Granbury Lions Club has been serving in Hood County, and the citizens of Hood County, and we serve those who are, we say, less fortunate than we are. We're fortunate to be able to be in the Lions Club, and that God has blessed us, and we just always try to help those who have a need in various different ways.
Yeah. You have anything to say finally?
No, I'm just proud to be a Lion.
Good, good. Well, we're proud you're a Lion too.
We are.
We're proud you're a Lion. And so with that, I guess we're going to wrap this up. But we want to thank again the U.S. Veterans Museum for videoing this for us, because this is going to be something that we can keep and pass on down to the future Lions that come on board as to some of the things that's happened that makes Lions what it is today. So with that, we're going to say, gentlemen, we'll see you at the party Tuesday night.
Present you with your pen, and I'm asking the governor to assist and give you your plaque. Please come forward. I want to congratulate you upon being recognized by your club and making you a Melvin Jones Fellow, which is the highest honor that can be bestowed upon you by the foundation. This enables our foundation to serve many causes worldwide, and also an opportunity for us to say thank you from your fellow Lions. And that, my fellow Lion, is one of the most important things that we can do, is to recognize you for the friendship, the fellowship, and the love that we all have for you. So here is your Melvin Jones plaque. Please. I'd also like to give you this letter that comes from Kevin Hart Morris, the chairman of the foundation. And I would ask you if you would like to say a few words to the Lions here assembled.
Yes, it's quite an honor to be recognized as such, and I'm proud to be a Lion. Thank you.
Thank you. A round of applause.